DTech is a Duke organization that aims to inspire a diverse group of students to choose career paths in technology. It offers support and resources for DTech associates and scholars. The program's website was developed a number of years ago and was in sore need of a redesign in order to modernize its look and better engage its users. Other goals of this project were to centralize and consolidate program resources, reorganize the content to better fit DTech's vision, and to give back to the Duke community. You'll be hearing from Mindy and Olivia about how they dove into this website redesign project and what they've learned in the process.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Ren. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, is everyone seeing the first slide?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming. We are the DTech website team, and we're really excited to be presenting our work in designing and implementing a new website for the Duke Technology Scholars Program, or DTech. And we're going to ask for any questions to be left for the end of our presentation. We'll first introduce ourselves as a project team of two. So my name is Mindy. I'm a rising junior studying ECCS and visual media studies.
And I'm Olivia. I'm a rising senior studying computer science and psychology.
DTech is an organization at Duke that aims to inspire a diverse group of Duke students in choosing career paths in tech. So the program offers support for associates and scholars in the form of recruitment workshops, written advice and resources, and one-on-one guidance from program leaders Amy and Kelly. DTech also offers a summer program for scholars who have access to experienced mentors, networking and career development opportunities, and summer housing during their internships. Our project focuses on creating a new DTech website to serve as a collective online space for the organization, and is focused on 4 main user groups, including the general Duke community, DTech scholars and associates, supporting companies such as corporate sponsors and prospective employers, and our stakeholders, program leaders, including Amy and Kelly. We got started on this project prior to Code Plus when we reached out to Amy and Kelly about getting more hands-on experience with design and development. And they offered us the opportunity to work on this DTech website, which they felt needed updates to both its appearance and functionality. The current website offers general program information for interested students and prospective employers, and also includes an application form during the fall semester when the program is accepting new applicants. Though the current website has served its purpose to house important information about DTech, the program has grown and evolved over the years, and the website was in need of an update to reflect this.
And as a first step to really ensure that we could deliver an MVP within the 10-week timeline of Code Plus, we spent the early weeks really defining the scope of the project. So that included user research, user interviews, and stakeholder interviews. And those were really important because this is a custom-built site. And so we really needed to know our user and our stakeholder needs really well. And through these interviews, we did explore those needs, we determined pain points and project goals, as well as solutions. And during stakeholder interviews, we learned that the primary pain points with the existing website included an outdated look, difficulty updating the site. There wasn't any space for private resources, which is provided currently on a Google Doc for scholars and associates. And there are also no resources for non-DTech students. So we discussed it a little further, and our stakeholders decided to dedicate a space to giving back to Duke and sharing the wealth, so to speak, by providing public resources for non-DTech members. And these pain points were also evidenced in user interviews. Several associates and scholars suggested that the primary goal of the DTech website should be to consolidate this information, provide online resources, and present it in a way that really guides users through the recruitment process.
Based on these findings, we ended up determining 4 overall goals for the website. So 1, achieving a modernized look. 2, enabling greater ease of use for all user groups, 3, centralizing and consolidating program resources, and lastly, giving back to the overall Duke community. In order to deliver an MVP that addressed these pain points and met all of these 4 goals, we determined 4 general solutions, including improved design and flow, training and documentation for stakeholders, privatized resources for scholars and associates, and public resources for career development. And at a basic level, we aimed for the new website to have a professional, minimalistic style and a more intuitive user experience. For ease of use, we focused on maintaining flexibility within the backend so that our stakeholders can easily change, add, or remove content on their own. And to guide the stakeholders through this, we are also creating training documents and a comprehensive style guide. And to make resources more accessible for scholars and associates, we are implementing a private shibboleth protected section of the website. And this section will include detailed program info and recruitment resources in the form of a recruitment process timeline. And finally, an aspect of creating this website is to give back and engage with the larger communities that DTech is a part of. So by providing public resources for different tech career paths, and also offering a place for companies to get involved with this program, whether that's by making a gift, hosting an event, or hiring a DTech scholar.
And after we really determined the main product requirements, we moved on to designing wireframes in Figma. And some of the major considerations during the design process included following the Duke brand guide, as well as meeting our 4 main project goals that Mindy stated. And based on early feedback from Amy and Kelly, we really focused on updating and simplifying the interface. So we increased white space, we made really strong calls to action for actions such as apply and sign in. And we also made a strong visual hierarchy. So for example, we have 2 cards that call out students and companies and direct them to appropriate pages for those user groups. And we've also simplified the navigation of the site by restructuring the information architecture. And so we're really hoping that will make for a more intuitive user experience. And we've also focused on crafting a strong visual experience for users on both the public and private facing sides of the site. And that includes videos that we plan to make of scholars and associates who are kind of giving back to the DTech community by answering frequently asked questions or giving advice on topics such as handling rejection, developing goals, and things like that. And that's something that we think is really important right now, especially during times of remote interning and recruiting.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi may be a bit slow. There we go.
Mindy, do you have it muted?
Is it not playing the sound?
No, but I can just say it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here, I'll go back to the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, so we've also included a prototype of the design to give a clearer vision of what the site will look like and how it will function when development is complete. So users can navigate to the About DTech page, which provides information about the program and its mission. And students who are interested in applying to the program can learn more about features on the program details page, which provides really a higher level description of program features and the application process. And that also includes key dates for the application. And companies can learn more about the benefits of hiring DTech students, or can find other ways to get involved through sponsorship, mentorship, or even hosting events. And then there's also a SHIB protected area for scholars and associates who have access to private recruitment and career development resources. And so after signing in, a new tab called Scholars and Associates will be made visible to users, which houses these resources and other private program information. And these resources are displayed in a timeline visual, which serves to kind of guide users through the recruitment process in chronological order. And these resources vary from advice on handling rejection to developing goals, to tips and tricks for LinkedIn profiles and resumes, And so this is kind of a great way for students to just click through the menu navigation and also, like I said, see videos of current scholars giving advice.
So after finalizing these major design elements, we began the development phase of the project, which included the technical implementation of the designs created earlier in the Code Plus program. As Olivia focused mainly on UX design, I've been responsible for working on the front-end development of the site for the last few weeks. After we created a spreadsheet detailing what functionalities and components we needed for the site, Duke Web Services stepped in and created the Drupal 8 backend. So this saved us a lot of time and allowed us to focus on front-end development using Gatsby and React. And to kind of define both of these tools, Gatsby is a site generator that pairs with React and GraphQL. React is a JavaScript library that helps build user interfaces, and GraphQL is used for querying information from the Drupal backend. So in a sense, it kind of bridges the information between the backend and front end. So for the past 3 weeks, I've been focusing on development, and here are a couple of examples of pages that I've completed. On the left, we have the program leadership page of leader profiles, as well as the home page on the right. And to relate these pages to the site components that we outlined before development, each profile on the program leadership page is a component that we like to call a paragraph bundle. And on the home page, we have text content, so where you see welcome to DTech, and these blue cards that are also different paragraph bundle components. Here are some other examples of site sections that I've also created. And in terms of workflow, I began creating files for each of the components we outlined before beginning development. On the top left, we have an excerpt of the frequently asked questions page, and each question and answer is a separate paragraph bundle component. Besides the sitemap that we have, I also made a test page on the Drupal end of things to make it easier to test styling for each component. So in the bottom left and the top right screenshots, we have text body content, a button, a card, an accordion section, an announcement, and the beginning of the section that acknowledges DTech corporate sponsors. With the overall site layout, I've also created a footer in the bottom right screenshot, and I'm working on styling the main navigation right now, which is going to be part of the page header, including the DTech logo. One of the big challenges that I encountered was pulling queried images from the Drupal backend. So if you notice that these pages don't really have any uploaded images yet, that's because of a bug that we're trying to work around right now. So images have not been included yet. But overall, the development has been in steady progress, and I'm really excited about making the wireframes that Olivia made come to life in a usable site.
And finally, thank you to everyone who has helped us along the way. Our project leads, OIT, Duke Web Services, and the Crux team. And of course, thank you to Amy and Kelly for your support and for the opportunity to work on this project in the first place. And we'll open up the floor to any questions now.
Very good. So can I ask, I'm impressed with the design elements in your site. Did one or both of you come in already having that expertise? Did you learn that at Duke, or is that something that you have acquired more deeply as part of this project? Because frankly, we don't teach a lot of design in a coherent way in our curricula. Professor Daly's class being one of the exceptions to that rule.
Thank you for that question. I guess I'll go into kind of my own background first, and then Olivia, I'll let you explain what you have. But I would say personally, I've done just kind of small projects here and there. So I have a little bit of Figma experience going into Code Plus. Also as a visual media studies major, I think a lot of the conceptual stuff I've had experience with, but I haven't really taken any actual classes in terms of design.
There's actually a VMS class that is good preparation for people who want to make less crappy websites.
Yeah, I will say that I took a graphic design class with Professor Faber, and that was really, really helpful. And I think that really helped me going into this project.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and as far as my experience goes, I've been really working with the wireframes this whole time, so it's been a long process. But I actually took my first class and did my first case study when I went abroad because I hadn't really gotten that opportunity at Duke. So I took human-computer interaction and did a case study there with an international team. I really liked it. I wouldn't say I got a ton of expertise just because it was kind of scrappy work. But when I got back, I decided I was passionate about UX and that's what I wanted to do. And so I spent a lot of time making portfolio projects on my own and just kind of taking LinkedIn learning classes and stuff like that for self-development.
Excellent. Thanks.
What was one of the most surprising things you learned? I know UX is a hot up and coming area. What are some of the
Yeah, I don't know about surprising. It's just, I think the more I learn, the more I want to redo my past projects. And so that's kind of been the most challenging thing. Is that, well, and on top of that, I'm also very much a perfectionist, so that doesn't help. But but yeah, that's been the most challenging aspect. As far as surprising, I don't know how surprised I've been so far, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
We have a question in chat from Joshua, and I think it might be directed to Mindy. Joshua, correct me if I'm wrong, but you wrote, what was the name of the class that helped, please?
Oh, in terms of design, I assume that was graphic design and multimedia with Professor Faber.
Okay, and then he has a follow-up question. Did you create a front end for the people who manage the site to view information?
Yeah, so I can actually, I was just working on it before this expo, but if you guys want to see kind of what I've been working on, I can share that as well. So this is a locally hosted site right now. And for example, if I click on the logo, we can go to the home page. Again, like I said, there aren't any queried images as of now, but we have some student testimonials, we have a footer, and then a test page for content. This was all kind of shown in the slides. And then recently I've started working on tabbed pages. So we have software engineering, product management, UX, UI design, data science, and just working on styling that right now.
So I'm going to jump in. My name is Barbara Puccio. I was the team lead for this project, and I manage the creative and user experience team at OIT. And there's a couple different ways that you can get other experience with design. We teach a intro to design and UX Procom class. We did that several years in a row, and there's also roots classes. So there's like a lot of different resources to kind of get that experience going. And we have been asked to kind of enhance the roots classes towards more UI, UX, and design, but that likely won't happen for the fall. That'll likely happen next spring. So hopefully there'll be more options for people interested in those things. It's good to hear interest.
And Barbara, for those who aren't familiar with the roots classes, those are held through the CoLab. Can we post a link maybe to their site?
Sure, I'll find it and put it in the chat.
Super, thank you.
And they have a robust set of courses. I know that they've really beefed up their courses over the summertime, and they'll be offering more in the fall. And then as I think Mindy mentioned, that you've been doing a lot with the LinkedIn learning classes as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I learned, I took the Becoming a React Developer course on LinkedIn, and that was really helpful.
And everyone at Duke should have access to LinkedIn Learning.
That's something I didn't know until this year.
Really? We'll need to promote that more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be lynda.com, right? And then LinkedIn bought. Yeah.
Yeah. The other aspect that one thing that we're asking the students to focus on as they wrap up the program is to think about their portfolio and to start thinking about creating a portfolio for themselves online. So hopefully we'll be seeing that out of many of these students. I'm sure, well, you guys will have your portfolio through the DTech site as well as others. But any other, how complicated was it to learn GraphQL?
So I think that the learning curve on that took me a couple days, just because I have never really worked with querying things from a back end, kind of bridging that back end and front end. But once I got it, I think everything else came pretty easily. And then it was just up to styling whatever I could pull from the back end. So overall, I think it was a really great learning experience for me to be able to query my own information.
Great. I see Barbara posted the link. Thank you, Barbara.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure what's being offered right now, but it does update every semester, so keep checking back.
And Amanda mentioned that INE department, and that's Innovation and Entrepreneurship, is offering some design classes as well as special topics. And Joshua, I'm glad you liked LinkedIn Learning.
Joshua wins the prize for most questions asked. It's great to be like have people so engaged. That's great. Thank you.
I want to just kind of give some props to both Mindy and Olivia. This was, even though it might seem on the surface like a fairly simple task, creating a website from start to finish is incredibly complex. And just watching the two of them kind of grow as the program went on and really learn and embrace everything and really produce this product, it's been really cool. So congrats to you both.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is Kelly Perry. I just wanted to say to both of you, as well as everybody, Amy can't be here today. She's going to watch the video, but we are over the moon excited about this. Like, it is so amazing to see this. We're so grateful. And I've loved watching Mindy and Olivia create this because it kind of did feel from scratch. We had some content, we had an old website, but this is like a really big deal. And I also just have to say, it's been fun to watch you guys work so well together. We heard this week also that DTech had its first hackathon this summer, and Mindy and Olivia came in first place in the hackathon. They won. They just worked so well together. So many things came out of this that are more than the website. Like, it's awesome, so don't get me wrong, but I'm thrilled for all the other things too. And being able to work and be a part of Code Plus, watching the professionalism has only reinforced my belief, my 100% belief that this is a program that truly, if not is better than, is at least as good as industry partners out there. And Jen, I've told you that before, all the launch programs, all the development programs for people who are getting their first internships. This is just great. So thank you to everyone. Really, we're so grateful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I think one of the cool things about this program is that, you create that team, and so often in an internship or an experience, you are dropped into a middle of an existing team. And right. So you sort of have to deal and come up to speed on what they're working on. But here, you're actually forming and figuring it out together and learning together. And it's, it's one of the hardest things I think for me this year was that we were remote, because I felt so disconnected from it, where last year I could just pop in and see how progress was being made. And this year it's been great to see all the presentations, and I've tried to get to as many as possible. And it's just the growth that has been demonstrated over the past 10 weeks is just fabulous. So hats off to you guys, Mindy and Olivia, for all of your hard work on this, and to Rin and your team and Barbara and your team for guiding during this process. It's fabulous. So I really appreciate it.
Me too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you
Absolutely.
guys so much.
Yeah, so hoping this site will make an appearance in the not too distant future. I know we're going to have conversations about that in the coming week. So I'm looking forward to hearing how we can work through that picture bug. But awesome. And I can't wait to hear feedback from from the other DTech scholars as we move it into production. I don't know if you've had a chance to show it to any of them yet.
We haven't actually, but like you said, I'm really excited to do that.
I'd like to see the unveiling.